If you mess up your first row of flooring, you could end up with bad joints, horrible slivers. Worst case scenario, you gotta rip everything out and start again. I'm gonna show you a dead simple method to get the perfect first row every single time. Also gonna show you why you never wanna use this type of shim. Now the method has three parts: the layout, cutting the first row, and the most important, shimming it solid right from the start. For the layout, the first thing we need to figure out is the flooring direction. If you get this wrong, it can make the room feel very awkward and smaller than it actually is. There's four things you need to consider to help you with this decision: the longest dimension, the main light source, any long hallways, and stair nosings. In this room here, this is my longest dimension, which would tell me to put the flooring along here, but the main window is here, and ideally you want your flooring running in the same direction as the light coming in. Otherwise it can start to look wavy. Now we don't have any long hallways that we're tying into, but the tiebreaker is going to be the stair nosing. The only way for this flush mount nosing to work will be with the flooring running in this direction. So that settles it. We're gonna run the flooring along this wall. Now let's figure out how big we need to make that first piece. Now picking your starting wall, in this case here, I'm gonna start off this back wall. Your longest, straightest wall is where you want to start considering. And then you also want to avoid starting in a place where you end up having to work backwards with this snap together laminate or a vinyl plank flooring. And now the last thing with the layout is how big do you make that starting piece? This is going to ultimately determine your success with the floor. Are you going to end up with tiny slivers or get halfway through the floor with pieces that don't fit together properly? Let me show you the easiest hack that I've ever found to figure this out. And that is making one of these tape measure storyboards. So what I like to do is take 4 pieces of my flooring, snap them all together. Then you want to hook this part of the tape right onto the edge, pull the tape across, and then you mark each of the seams with a black Sharpie. Slide that last mark back to the start and keep on marking out the tape till you have enough coverage for your whole layout area. And don't worry, the black Sharpie wipes off beautifully with a little bit of solvent. Now to figure out how big we need to make the starting piece, we'll come back to the starting wall. We'll put our 1/4 inch spacer that we need to maintain to the wall, and we'll see what happens when we start with a full piece and start checking out what you're going to run into. With this wall here, you can see we have about a 3-inch piece, which is acceptable. And now with this doorway here, because we're coming all the way into that laundry room over there, if we start with a full piece, we're going to have a horrible U shape on this door jamb, a tiny little sliver here, and it's going to be impossible to fit this together. So we need to make an adjustment. So to fix this issue here, we're going to shift this back a 1/2 inch. That's going to put the edge of the board right in line with this door and break that up nicely. And now the rest of the run is going to work out nicely to this tile transition here. Through this doorway, we have about a 3-inch piece over here and a 7-inch piece here, so that works out nicely. Now to mark out the size of the first row, we'll come back off of our point here, measure backwards, make sure that we're lined up, and that's how you figure out the perfect width for your starting row. Hey, cutting without safety glasses, not smart. Using public Wi-Fi without a VPN, same thing. On public Wi-Fi, other people can see what you're up to and steal your data. That's why I like to use Surfshark, the sponsor of today's video. And it's not all about security. Prices online can change based on where you are in the world. Flights, hotels, even software. With Surfshark, you can switch your location and check prices for different countries. Sometimes you can save a boatload of money. You can also access shows and content that aren't available in your country. You just switch your location and it opens up a whole lot more options, whether you're watching Netflix, soccer, or even gaming. And if you want to check it out, you only need 1 subscription to protect all the devices in your family. I'll put my discount link down in the description, or you can use promo code FUNNYCARPENTER for 4 extra months free. And if it's not your thing, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Let's get to the cutting. Now there's a couple big mistakes that you can make here. If we just measure this piece and cut it the same all the way along, because almost every single wall is crooked, you might end up with some real tight spots. and your floor might end up buckling, or you can get some big gaps that the baseboard doesn't cover. And the most common mistake, if we just go parallel to this first wall, by the time we get to the last row, things can end up looking really crooked. So to avoid all that, we're going to establish a master line in the middle of the room. Now to make the master line, we're going to start with our first row, and we'll measure out kind of into the middle of the room, and we'll make a mark here, right here. Now I'm just going to measure to the wall and see what we got. 74.75. So we're going to measure the same distance over here. Our starting point is going to be parallel to the back wall, and then we can check the far wall. We're going to use a chalk line, but we're going to put some screws in just so we can keep it off the ground. So we'll hook on there, come over to the other side. I'm going to get the mark over here. I'm just going to cantilever this through onto our previous mark. There we go. Put a little pencil line here. We'll put this screw in here. Hook the chalk line on here. Put a little twist on the end. Do 3 or 4. Hook that on there. Pull it tight. Pull this back. 2 wraps. And now we're nice. We're off the ground here. We're not marking up the floor yet. What you want to do now is perform your far wall parallel checks. We'll start off with this first wall here, 50.5. We'll look at this wall here, and that is 50.25. So already we're a little out to lunch. The most important parallel check is going to be the doorway. That's going to be the most obvious piece. So let's check that. 72. Come to the other side. Yeah, 71. 13/16. So the doorway is off parallel about 3/16 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the far side. I'm going to shift that over 1/4 inch, and then we'll recheck and see if it's looking better. Let's check out this wall here. So we're at 50.25. The mid wall here, 50.25. So now we're parallel to that middle wall. Let's check out the doorway, and we are 72 and 72. Now the doorway and the far walls are going to work perfect with this master line. The starting row is going to be a little bit off, but because it is such a wide piece, you're never going to notice. Let's snap this down. We'll work our way back, and I'll show you how to get the cut perfect. Now the next step we got to do is mark out our first full row coming off of the master reference line. Now this is going to be our first full row. So that's the face of the board on the black lines. You want to mark on this outside edge. It's going to be easier to line that up. Rinse and repeat on the other side. We'll put a screw in there to snap a line. Hook on. Now I've got that first row laid out all the way along, and it is right on that line that we snapped on. Now in order to account for any of the contours of the wall, we're going to use a template to get the perfect scribe mark on here. You just want to make it 1/4 inch bigger than the face of the flooring. The groove gives you that 1/4 inch, so you just need to nip off the 1/8 inch tongue. And now just trace the perfect mark that follows the wall all the way along. Now that we got that all marked out, you can cut it with a jigsaw, circular saw, or even the table saw. I've got my underlay down, the first row is cut, and this is the last place that you can really mess things up. If you don't shim this properly, when you get tapping and installing the floor, joints can open up and everything gets sloppy very quick. The problem is most people use these type of angled shims that come in most installation kits. Problem with these shims, if you use one of them, it is almost certainly going to get jammed into the flooring. If you try to use 2 and the flooring shifts with a little tap, they're going to fall over and you're back to square one. Let me show you what to use instead. These are an absolute game changer when it comes to shimming. You've scribed the floor 1/4 inch all the way along. These have a nice base and a nice wall section to rest on. They come 1/4 inch spacer and 1/3 inch, depending. You might have cut a little bit too much off. Let me show you how they work. You just slap these in here like this, push the floor tight, work your way along, all the way along the floor. And for a room this size, you could probably get away with 1 box. You might need 2 if you're doing a bigger room. These can be hard to find. I will put the link for them down in the description. If you're watching on TV, you can check out the QR code. And hey, if you want to see my best tips to install a whole room, go ahead and check out this video right over here. Awesome. Yeah, that's the type of day we're dealing with here, people.